Hey guys, this is Aiden QWE from the Twin Tigers production. I'm going to be showing you the Stanley Parable. So today we're going to do a little play. This is just going to be first impression. I haven't played this before. I just got it, so let's try it. End is never the end, and that's confusing. All right, we're getting 3 frame rate. Wow. For a game that's supposed to have better loading. The worst part of every game, loading. Shouldn't take long. How are you all doing? I hope you guys are doing fine. But, well, let's see. Loading. Nearly there. Come on. There we go. Almost there. Almost there. Come on. Come on. Yeah.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly
I can see already.
And
A little bit
Stanley
of a crazy
was
that
happy.
there's just like that.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
What if I don't want to step out of my office? I mean, it's quite lovely in here. Look at this. Got a computer, phone. No camera, though. File cabinets. A cup that says, I hate Mondays. Pencil sharpener, paper. I mean, what more could a guy, and a pretty picture. What more could a guy want? Alright, I guess we'll step out.
All of his co-workers were gone. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
We're just gonna keep going.
When Stanley came to a set of
No,
2
let
open
me out.
doors, he entered
Let me
the door on
out.
his left.
Door on my left, but I want to go on to the right. I'll go on to the right. Let's keep going. Ooh.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Tips for not
Feeling
getting
a
fired.
wave
Talk
of
less, do
disbelief,
unbelievably
Stanley
amazing
decided to
work
go
all the
up to
time,
his
every day.
boss's
No
office,
expect- No,
hoping
hey,
he
I
might
was reading
find an
that.
answer there.
Frank, bring that back. Bring it back. I was reading that. Using slides to assure you. I guess someone's gotta have a good joke. Ooh, broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet,
Ooh,
but there was
wire.
nothing here, so he turned
Yes,
around
there's stuff here.
and
Look
got
at, there's a
back on
broom.
track.
There's a broom. Whatever this thing is. There's some
There was
tools in
nothing
here.
No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet.
Yeah.
No
no,
reason
it's
to
not
still
empty.
be here.
You've got stuff in here. Look, there's pipes. Yeah, and a light. Pipes,
It was
lights.
baffling that Stanley was still
Stuff.
just sitting in the broom closet.
That's
He wasn't
nice.
even doing
I'm
anything.
gonna sleep.
At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As
I'm
it
just gonna
is,
sleep in this
he's
morning.
literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Sleeping here. That's what I'm gonna do.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing?
Yep.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Because, Frank, I'm tired of you.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
Yep.
If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story
I've heard there's a broom
whatsoever.
closet
I
ending.
never would have thought to mention it.
So I'm trying to get the broom closet ending.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got
Okay,
the
that's
job
it, Frank.
because
I'm
of a
staying
family
in here.
connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
That's it, Frank. I'm staying in here. You insult me, I'm staying in here.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Sure,
Well, in a
Frank.
situation like this,
Sure,
the
we'll say that.
responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's
What,
indicative
Frank, you're
of
not
the
human?
long-term sustainability of your
You're an
species.
AI.
Please remove their
AI.
corpse from the area and instruct
AI,
another
evil.
human to take their place at the
They're gonna
computer,
kill us all.
making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
It
All
come
right,
to you
when
lost
you've done
us.
that, just step out
Frank.
into the hallway. Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee
still me, Frank.
you can't do any worse than the person who, coming to a staircase, Stanley
down.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That's right, Frank.
But
I went
Stanley
down.
just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All
No,
of my
I'm just
co-workers
going around
blinking
in a circle.
mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
I'm just
And as
going around
Stanley
in a
pondered this,
circle,
he
Frank.
began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No,
Yep.
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Does Frank ever
Now, hearing the voice
talking?
speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job.
Let's see, come on.
Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Is that it? Oh. What? No, I'm still here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my life.
I guess this is the crazy ending.
I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her
Nope.
feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
And I guess that's the end of the crazy ending. I guess we're gonna... Here we go. Alright. Let's go back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I did get the broom closet ending.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I want on the right.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright. Here we go.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Nope.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Nice, Frank. Just nice.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Beat you, Frank, at telling me the code, though. Oh, I knew that? I watched some videos before, so... Loading. 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 Loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Let's go. Pipes.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But what if I want to escape? Escape. We'll go like, we'll listen to you, Frank. Fine.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Let's see.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I lost my room. Oh, there it is. See if you guys can spot it, alright? In all this range. See if you guys can spot. Oh. Nah, too late. You already know.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I'm going to stop the video for now. I'm going to leave you hanging.
The proof. The heart of the operation.
We'll see more
Controls
later.
labeled with emotions.
See you guys.
Happy.
Bye.